Hello, welcome back. Layout I did last weekend. Pictures from Christmas 2020 with me and my sister, pre-Prosecco, post-Prosecco, using this sketch from Lisa Sikorsky from the December Sketch-A-Thon on Scrapbook Sketch on Facebook. I'm going to use that one in the bottom right corner with the paper weaving background, and using all those branding strips, manufacturer strips from the Hip Kit 2020 kit. I think also pulls some out, 2020 kit, pulls some out from the previous year's kits as well, so 2019, and possibly some older ones in there too. A little bit later on I do actually cut some 1/2-inch strips off some of the other papers as well, just to vary up the mix of colours, because there's some of the colours I wanted to pull out more red and green. So just begin by getting the strips together. A bit of foundations paper, because I'm going to go do some mixed media on the background, and just working out how many strips I want, and basically the colours. This is just brand new strips for now. This isn't the added in extras that I've cut from some of the papers to mix the colours up a little bit more and get some less of the white background ones, more colours in there. So with the mixed media, which you'll see me start in a minute, I brought up the old 2020 November kit on the Hip Kit website to remind myself of what I got in the colour kit that year, so that I can use what was designed to go with these papers, or what was curated to go with these papers. Happy so far with those strips. Decided I need a few more. Really, when you first look at a background weaved pattern paper background, you're kind of like, oh gosh, it's a bit full on and daunting, and how am I gonna have the patience to do all that weaving? It's actually just really quick in the end. And I would just recommend going to the end of one of your vertical or your horizontals, and just up and down through the papers the way I am, instead of actually trying to weave it through as you would with making a blanket. So happy with where they are so far. Going to move them off shortly to do the mixed media background. I'm just showing you where I'm thinking of putting the mixed media. So there are a few stencils that came with the colour kit from November 2020, so just having to think about using some of them. I do originally think about using a mix of the colours and not just one, and you'll see shortly about that. Now what I'm doing here, this is something my dad did when he was doing his watercolours. He would tape a piece of watercolour paper to a wooden block that he had, and it's something that most watercolourists do, and something Vicky Booten doing. I was like, I like that, because it kind of stops your paper from buckling as much. So just use the Lindy's Magicals there in the, I think it's Rudolph Red Nose. Now something Missy Whidden says about red mixed media, kind of this kind of thing, so it looks like a crime scene. She tends not to use it. I, for the same reason, tend not to use it as well. But I really like this one with the shots of blue in it, so I thought I would use it. Just drying it off with my heat gun, and then just the last bits of moisture with my with a piece of kitchen towel. So do go to use the I think it's Jade Garden from Tonic. They're pixie powder type things. Cutting up the front of the foundations paper, the acetate on the front there, which is a brilliant palette for doing your mixed media. So put some of this powder on, because I was originally thinking I was going to do some of the green as well as the red, which is why I dried the red so the green could be a layer. But the green, it's really pale, and it was also activating the red again, so I just decided to put more red on. Now I have cut it out of the video, but I did mix some of the green with the Nouveau Spot Glimmer Paste, and it does look really good. And had I done that beforehand, I would have done it here. So where I'm now going to use the Glimmer Paste just on its own, Moonstone I think this one was, had I had a play and mixed it with the green tonic powders, I probably would have actually put this on as green rather than just left it as the Moonstone. The clear sparkly colour it comes does pick some of the red up, so you do see some red in it. There we go. And I do actually like that. So yeah, just get that washed ASAP from using it, because you are going to end up with an unusable stencil if you don't. Okay, so back to my papers. So I think at this point, yeah, I had cut some more 1/2-inch strips from some of the pattern papers. So you can see that green one there and the candy cane one. So just making sure I'm happy with the mix of colours, making sure I don't need to cut anything else, and getting a good mix of some of the more solid colour ones. I said just adding in that red and the green just because of the party hats that we're wearing. Now going to leave, just to begin with, stick with repositionable centre strips, so centre horizontal and vertical, to give me a cross. I do get a bit precise with this just because when I'm starting it off, I do want it to be, you know, in the right place in the centre of the page. So I do that in vertical and horizontal, and I do begin when you see me start doing the rest of the vertical strips with spacing them out and getting them straight. But I do actually give up on that. Okay, so just putting all the rest of the vertical ones on and getting them stuck down first. As I said, you'll see me get the ruler out and measure how far apart they are and be precise with where they're going. After I do this second one, I do decide that they are actually a little bit too far apart, and do away with my T-square and just stick them down. So you see me here move one over, and I just stick them down. So yeah, just do that with the rest of them, all my vertical ones. There we go, get them all done. I should maybe cut more of this out. I know I said I was just doing real-time videos this year, but this was over an hour long. So I thought I'd do a cut down voiceovered one. Get it, you know, shorter, so that you're not sat watching me try and decide what I'm doing and all that mixed media drying cut out. Right, so now I'm doing my vertical strips. So I start off with keeping them, you know, edge to edge and trimming the ends when I'm doing this bottom half. Which I then give up and think, right, I'll do all the trimming at the end. When I do the top half, which you'll see in a minute, I do change tact on how I'm doing this. Because I'm thinking, if I actually do them so they're a little bit further over, I'm only cutting one end down. So I'll just stagger them that way. Which I really think I should have done right from the beginning. Now one of these strips goes in wrong. I miss an under, I think it is. And it's not till I put the next one in. There we go, that's the one that's wrong. Yeah, not until I put the next one in that I realise I've missed it. There we go. So putting that one, putting it right, putting them in. And I put the trees upside down on that one, because I did it the way I was facing, forgetting to turn the page round. Cutting the ends down of, sticking the ends down of the vertical ones now, and then I'm going to cut each of the strips down so that they're all kind of different lengths, not necessarily like each strip ends up being the same length, just wiggly. It's just I did want them all to be random and different lengths, which is what I'm doing there, and I'll do the same on the horizontal ones. So I think the only reason why, you know, it's particular about horizontal and vertical, which ones went on this one, are any of the patterns that have got a directional pattern on, which I think was only really the trees on the pink layer in the middle and the top on the horizontal. The others, the patterns weren't really directional. So just going to use back my papers now on this black and white print. Getting brave with the scissors, that's from watching Shamel, that because she just uses big scissors all the time instead of a trimmer. I do go back to the trimmer for my green though. And this is some 3D foam that I do lift everything up on. Now this is double-sided stuff that's actually acid free. My local hobby craft stopped doing the adhesive kid stuff from Funky Foam, which is really annoying. And they did do some, but it had the adhesive didn't stick anymore. So this is either from Stampin' Up or Scrapbook.com, one or the other, because I've got 2 lots at the minute. I'm now using the release paper from that 3D foam to space out my Christmas. This is going to be Christmas spirit. I do this because I've got a rough idea of where I want the word to start and end, and I just want to make sure it does start and end where I have in mind. So I'm going it on the correct strip. I don't end up on a strip that's too short for it. So that's why I've put it on the release paper first of all, to do that. I'm happy with it being a good length for going on that longer pink one, which is where, with it being the red as well, I think it really pops against that longer pink one, so I'm happy with that. And then Spirit I just put straight on because it's only really Christmas, with it being a long word, that I was worried about it being long enough. So yeah, so these are the letter stickers that came with the November 2020 hip kit. So just using those, and then the embellishments when I do embellish it now. These are all from, I believe, the 2020 kit as well, unless I've muddled some 2019 in there, but I don't think so. Love these little Russian dolls in this kit, so I put 2 because it's me and my big sister. Cutting down some of this 3D foam so it's the same height off the page as the photos. Now the Russian doll doesn't need to be as high as the photo, so I've used a dimensional there. Just you know, Stampin' Up dimensionals are a little bit thinner than this foam. Christmas after all, so we need a bit of holly on there. And do go a bit mad with them stars, I think. I can't remember. I can't actually remember what I put on this. Let me turn around and look at it on my wall. No, don't actually put much more on here now. So we're nearly done. Just going to fight with some hearts for my... fight with some hearts, putting some sticky on the back, and then find some other hearts and just realise it needs to do that. Love these puffy words. So these do get changed out actually. One of them, I think. Wanted to use those hearts and circles, and I have used them now, but didn't go on this layout. Was looking at using some more of them Russian dolls. They're not on the final layout, no, so I'll take them off again. It's just a case of, what is it that Victoria Calvin calls it, auditioning pieces, and I think that's so true. Just taking things off and on and deciding if it all looks right. I think I might be done. There we go. Thanks for watching. Bye.